I'm happy that nothing came on my fishing road.
Because that made you go for something bigger and better.
Seeing trash under the water is one thing, but then when you see that trash actually affecting the marine life, that becomes heartbreaking.
And at the same time, you are a hunter as well by passion.
Yes.
Where do you draw the line? Tell me about the kind of treasures you've unlocked. Finally, an adventurer who likes to scale heights, yes, that's me, gets to meet another adventurer who likes to go to the depths. Yes, that's Salman. Thank you so much for arranging this.
Yeah,
It means a lot to me. So I just want to introduce you at start.
Okay.
Before that, your name?
My name is Salman.
Abdul.
Ghani Sheikh Umar.
And what is your connection with the sheikhs of the Middle East?
None. Yeah.
Despite being an engineer by profession,
Yeah.
you have accumulated a lot of titles in the recent few years. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you are a free diver,
That's right.
a certified underwater spear fisher,
Yes.
a night spear hunter,
Yes.
underwater treasure hunter,
I would say so. Yes.
underwater cleanup diver,
Yes.
and I'm sure that's just the beginning. Well, yeah, we're gonna get to know a little bit more about that too. But here's the name that you've taken for yourself, Gear Sub.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that name?
I got this name from looking at my inspirations, I could say, like some free divers that I look up to. And they have the word sub next to it. And
Yeah.
sub has something to do with like submersible or submerged in the water. So that is that part of my name. And gear, if I had to think where I got the name from, was I was actually planning to sell gear that is submersible. So gear sub.
You're talking about diving gear.
Yes,
Yeah,
and spearfishing gear.
All right.
And I did that for some time.
Okay.
And I still like to do it just as a hobby.
That's a very good brand name.
Yes, so I just gave myself the name Gear Sub.
And that is it. Salman, the Gear Sub.
Yeah.
Is it?
We also are known as Gear Sub Expeditions because we go out for certain trips. So it's kind of an expedition. We go to unknown areas or where men have never gone before.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's not everybody gets to experience.
So that's interesting. Now, you've had humble beginnings in the UAE. And were you always interested in the sea? Because I don't know whether the UAE has a much to offer in terms of, marine life, but I was wrong. Okay, so this is me telling you a little bit about my experience. I once went along with a bunch of men that I met through a friend
Okay.
on a private speedboat. And we went deep into the ocean. This was from the Sharjah side,
Okay.
Arabian Ocean, obviously. We passed across quite a lot of things, even in abandoned ships and all that. That was an amazing sight. And later we reached the middle of nowhere. So I know this is the first time for me. I am feeling afraid. All the members had their suits on, diving suits, and spear guns.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
you've been in this environment before.
They left me alone in the ocean on a boat, and everybody went downwards. Okay, so here I am in the middle of the ocean. I think it was 1 hour away from the coast.
Okay.
That's how deep we went inwards.
Okay.
And I was just in a boat swaying and swaying for a long time.
And you're waiting for them.
I'm just waiting and begging for them to come back. Weather conditions are worsening.
Oh, God.
I'm feeling seasick, almost on the verge of vomiting. And I got no clue. But now I know what seasickness is, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. But then after all that, the boys came back and they came back with their catch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So now I know why they do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. magnificent things, which I'm sure you're going to be talking about.
Yes, yes.
And now I see the reason behind all this effort that they've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first experience like this.
So if you go all the way to the beginning and how the entire thing with my connection to the sea and marine life and in wildlife in general started, is it has to do with my upbringing. Growing up, we always had pets around us, and we uh, we always entertained them. I remember there was a point in time. I think I was in grade 6, 7, something like that. We had around 16 cats at home. The thing with the sea and the ocean side started because of my neighbor, who was who still is half local Arab and half Filipino. And they used to go to a place in Ajman at night to fish. Uh, and he used to invite me to go with him at night to fish, not for diving. But that's where I got introduced to the whole fish side of it, because we never had fish as such, But when I went with them, these were fishes that we were catching and we were cooking them, the mom. So that was kind of intriguing for me, that hey, you can catch your own food without buying from the store. That is something I want to do. So that stayed with me, but I never did anything about it, like never did something with diving or fishing. I did go with a friend or two, with the angling. I tried that. It never worked for me. I never caught a single fish by throwing a fishing rod into the sea. Nothing came, and also the bait used to get lost in the water. So I used to come back with nothing. But because of that, I'm happy that nothing came on my fishing rod.
Because that made you went go for something bigger and
Yes,
better.
yes. It made me go into the water, because had I gotten better at catching a fish on a fishing rod, I might have stopped over there. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, I don't need to get wet. I can just stay up here and they'll just come and bite. But they didn't, and that kind of made me angry. How dare you not bite my bait?
I'm going into your domain now.
Yeah, like they say, घर में घुस के मारेंगे. So that's kind of what's happening right now. Uh, but yeah, how I came to spearfishing is because I definitely used to see some people on social media do this, and then I had through a friend's contact, I found another friend of mine who actually teaches this. He has a school. He was an instructor there,
Okay.
and then I reached out to him, and he said, yes, you can do this course. You can get the training for it, the safety side, because there's a lot of safety measures involved in this, because you need to be aware about a lot of things, because it looks fun, it is fun, but you need to be aware about the safety aspects of it, because it's not for everyone. You need to have that that safety briefing or that safety training that we had, and that kind of stays with you, because it's not always it's first of all, it's not advisable to dive alone. And whenever you're diving with someone, in case there's an incident or there's an episode, you need to know how to deal with that situation.
Okay.
I-
I'll stop you there with the learning bit, because
Yeah.
I am going to ask you about that too.
Okay.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to know how to get into this, and
Okay.
probably even how to seek, a world away from this concrete jungle.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll get into that. So, Salman, you deep dive into a world less frequented by humans. What does this world have to offer? Give us a visual. If I was just to like close my eyes, what do I get to see in this Aquaman world?
See, one of the first things that when I was introduced to that side of nature, it was always like, hey, I've seen this on TV. I've seen this on Instagram.
Yeah.
Hey, it's that thing I saw that day on.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Yeah, so you start like referencing or something, like joining. Oh, you've seen this, you've seen that. And then after there comes a point after that, you see things you have not seen before, or you see a fish doing something you've not seen before.
That's when you know you level up.
Yeah, and then you start thinking, I wish others could see this.
Yeah.
And like, and sometimes, to be very honest with you, when you see it with your own eyes, sometimes the camera is not able to capture that.
Right.
And you need to be there
Yeah.
to really feel what's happening and to see what's happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I really want people
Uh huh.
to explore this side of things. And there's more than just visiting a wildlife park or a safari, because there's a lot to explore under the sea.
Right. And tell me this: you began deep diving, but deep diving in the middle of the night. I mean, I get afraid with just the lights turned off in my own room. And here you are, meters down. How did that happen? And how did you get over any sort of fear, man?
The whole thing about night starts with how I actually entered into the whole the seaside of things. When I told you I had a friend with whom we used to go at night to do the normal fishing, what we used to do there was the water over there would be maybe knee depth. It's not really deep. You're walking in like shallow waters, and you have a torch in your hand. So I'm just going to connect all of this with the deep diving part. So we have a torch in our hand. I have a spear. There's a hand spear. We are holding a hand spear and we have a torch. And what we are trying to catch are cuttlefishes. The cuttlefishes are attracted to light at night. So we move around the light, or we try to see them. This is when it's usually during the winter season. So if you're in the Gulf, so it's after November, December, January, February, you see them, in larger numbers and in groups. So we are at this place, and we are with the torch, with the flashlight. His dad's there, his mom's there, mom's uncle's there. Everybody is trying to catch cuttlefishes. So that's where I started the night hunting part. So we have the flashlight in our hand, we have the spear in the other, and then we are trying to see a cuttlefish, and then we catch it. And then it starts shooting the ink and all of that. So all that hunting part in my life started with that
Experience.
experience. Yeah. So now when you ask about how did the whole thing about night diving comes, it wasn't new to me, because I've done similar things before. So crabs would be another thing we would catch at night. You can see crabs on in shallow waters with a flashlight. You can see them running, you can chase them. So all of this is possible without diving. In shallow waters you can do this. So I was kind of used to that idea, maybe let's say 10 years before I actually started diving.
So that was just schooling. And then now you've like post graduated into
Yeah.
going real deep
Yes.
during the night. It's cold.
Yes, it is.
I can't get over this. So you have a team for sure.
Yeah, I have gone alone as well. I
Okay.
think most of the times I've gone diving at night is alone, but not very deep. And if I have a partner with me, we would go a bit deeper.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's always advisable to go with a partner, because it always helps. But yeah, I have gone alone as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, nowadays, um, the underwater world seems to be frequented by something else a bit more: waste.
Yes.
Now, you've developed a connection with all of this in recent times. So
Yes.
I can see that. I mean, if let me go one step back. If I were an underwater animal, I'd see this as an invasion of my private space. Correct?
Maybe yes.
Do you agree? Somebody's just dumping stuff into my backyard.
Yes, of course. I mean, imagine, yeah, if you had your own place and somebody just drops in plastic waste, or ghost nets or whatever in your backyard, you would really get offended or angry that why are you doing this? Let
And
us live.
I feel that we've polluted the visible parts of our world so much that people now know how to get away with dumping things in the ocean.
There is truth to it. Yes.
There is. And how bad are things down there?
So seeing trash under the water is one thing. Seeing bottles under the water, seeing plastic bags in the water. This is one side of thing. But then when you see that trash actually affecting the marine life, them getting entangled in it, them not being able to swim, them starving to death because of the trash that we threw in, we as humans threw in, that becomes heartbreaking, and that kind of changes something in you, and you want to do something about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is where my whole cleanup thing started.
Okay.
That today I see a plastic bag just floating. Tomorrow it's going to strangle a swimming fish, and it's going to deprive it of its search for food, and it's just going to starve to death.
And you began doing this all by yourself.
Yes, it's something I just decided for myself, and I said that though spearfishing is a big part of why I'm diving, but I just didn't want to be a spearfisher. I wanted to do more than that because I knew I can do more than this. I knew that a lot of spearfishers may or might not be able to pick up the trash, or they may not see that trash as detrimental as I see it as. So I thought like maybe I should do this. I know that it is not going to stop the waste from coming into the sea, but I also knew that this will create awareness.
And it is catching eyeballs. I can see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, before I come to a little bit of that progress, what something funny came into my mind because you began doing this cleanup probably alongside the shores of Oman. Am I right? Is that where you started from?
A lot of cleanup has been done in Oman, but just before that,
It,
I did quite a few in India as
yeah,
well.
so that's where I'm coming to,
Yeah.
because I vision this particular funny site where a lot of Indian people are probably along the seashores or alongside water bodies like lakes and ponds and whatever, and they see this mermaid like black suited man coming out of the water with kingfisher bottles and many other things like that. And people are like, what the hell am I seeing, man?
Yes. I've seen the exact type of people you're trying to describe. I've seen their faces, and yeah, there is a look of surprise in their faces when they see this, because they never thought that someone would go down into water and take it out, and that itself is an awareness. If even if I did not record that session of me cleaning the water, but you walking out at peak time when people are actually there. For example, it was one of the places was a tourist spot, and they saw that and they were really happy that someone is doing this. Again, I know it's not going to stop. Maybe the same people are going to throw tomorrow, throw trash again tomorrow, but then it just creates an awareness that there is trash underwater which you don't see, and it is going to harm the marine life sooner or later.
Okay. And now, I mean, that was your break back in India, and you've done this along the lines of Mumbai, I think, and Goa a bit.
In India, I've done this only in Goa.
Only in Goa.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now you're back in Oman, and you're doing the same there as well.
Yes, we're doing the same thing over there.
And this has caught the attention of someone who
Yes.
wanted to shake hands with you.
Yes.
Tell me about that story.
Uh, well, this is a company that has its roots in Oman for over 40 years, and they have a CSR policy in their company,
Uh-huh.
and they wanted to do something out of the box, and
Right.
they were quite intrigued by the fact that there is a person who is doing this on his own, and not that I was not I was actually providing this as a service to big companies.
You do.
Yes, as a service, so that you hire our team, and then we work with you together to reach your CSR goals. So if you go on my website, gearsub.com, you will see, I think the first, second, or the third link, it has says that let's
Team up.
achieve your CSR goals together.
Amazing.
So but it wasn't through that website, but it was through some other media that we came to
Meet these.
yeah, meet and then come to an agreement and a sponsorship deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a new milestone for you.
Definitely, yes. I mean, it's finally helped. All that trash picking up has finally, got me a deal.
So that's going to give you a little more push and probably give a push to a lot more people to also join yourself.
Definitely, because this is something I have been wanting from a very long time. I don't want to be the first and the last person who's doing this. I'm yet to see another Indian person who free dives to clean the ocean. Uh, and I know if they are not able to, why? Because it's not easy. There's a
Okay.
lot of preparing, you know, before you actually go into the water. There's a lot of things to be concerned about in terms of safety,
Right.
uh, and it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
So I felt that if I am able to get in the water, then do a thing or two more than just taking fish from the sea.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I have a little bit of a confusion in my mind. I want to clear things up because I'm sure some people might have the same as well. You do get into cleanups, conservation as well, and at the same time, you are a hunter as well by passion.
Yes.
Where do you draw the line?
So I knew this question was coming up, and there are a lot of people who might have the same question. I understand that. See, how do I put this in very simple words? Uh, we are omnivorous creatures. We need to eat both veg, and we need to have a good source of protein. And I believe that you need to have protein from meat sources like fish. So animal protein is something that is bioavailable to us, and something and then people do argue that, oh, dal has protein and these things have protein, but they are not that bioavailable to you. Bioavailable means, you know, like our body can absorb it. So you need to depend on these sources. Now, that being said, it does not mean that you go out with your fishing trawlers and throw in your nets and take the entire generation of fish out, not leaving nothing for your your grandchildren. Like the entire generation of fish is out, and now you don't that species has gone extinct because you fished so much
That has
day after
happened.
day.
It
Yes,
has
it is
happened.
happening. It is happening right now. So where spearfishing comes in is, and why I like it, it is the or one of the most sustainable ways to harvest fish from the sea.
Okay.
So it's basically selective hunting versus fishing from throwing a net into the sea. So, for example, if I was to throw a net on a school of fish, I would get 100 of them, all 100 of them. Basically, the entire generation is out, and I'm going to go sell it or whatever. But if I was spearfishing, I'm going to take one out of the 100. So 99 get to live, they get to reproduce, they get to go on. A new generation comes about. So that's why it is sustainable. So you take what you want. Another problem with net fishing or the commercial fishing is when you use these big trawlers and these big nets, uh, you are catching fishes or species that you don't want. And by the time you are taking your catch out of the sea, putting it on your ship, a lot of them have died, and you didn't even want them in the first place. You just throw it back into the sea. I'm
That's
talking
true.
about dolphins, I'm
That's
talking
true.
about whales, I'm talking about turtles. They were not your target catch, but it did come into your your massive fishing net. So all of that, the answer to that, the sustainable answer to that, was spearfishing. That you can do that, you can take what you want and leave the rest to see another day. you know
That's
so that is where I would say I draw the line. For example, I do not buy fish from the market. If
okay.
I want to eat it, I will get it myself in a way I know best.
Back to the old school human ways of
Yes,
hunting, hunter
definitely.
gathering, as they call it.
Yes, exactly. It's a primitive thing. It's very simple. There's no gadgets. There's nothing very technical here. It's
Okay.
just a rubber sling, and then you just get your catch.
Right. And I've seen you catch humongous fishes as well. And I've seen that you don't keep that to yourself. You actually give it to people, you give it all the cats around. Everyone, you make everybody happy.
Yeah, I believe in we need to share what we catch, and obviously I don't have that kind of appetite. I can't eat that much. So if I get something, and if I get more than what I can, uh, keep for myself, maybe I might be thinking for a few days ahead. But sometimes I also think about my friend. Oh, maybe he might like this fish, so I take it. So that's mostly where I.
So you must be famous with the cats around where you stay, yeah?
Yes, 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 definitely. Like if I leave the car and I walk to my place, they are following me. If I'm just carrying a plastic bag with nothing, it's my clothes inside. I just got it from the laundry or
No,
something.
yeah.
But it makes a sound. They're like, yeah.
They know they have hopes.
Yeah, they have hopes. They look at you and they're like, hey, I'm hungry and stuff. Yeah, so they are actually they're quite happy, and they've made a base under my house to they expect
The
food when they see me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this has made you a pretty good seafood cook, if I may, as well.
Yes, yes, and there's a background to this also. Now I don't want to bore you bore you by going into detail, but the COVID time has helped me improve my personal skills a lot. So I had a lot of time to myself to improve my personal skills. For example, with cooking, I learned to cook. I knew how to cook, but I think I got better during the COVID time. I used to experiment a lot. I'm heavily into experimental cooking. I make stuff that you might have never heard about, like fish nihari, parrotfish nihari, grouper nihari. These are some Pakistani or Indian dishes, but I like to experiment them with fish because I have the access to it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I think one day you should have a restaurant or something, you know?
It's not like I've never thought about it, but that's an investment, and that's a time from that needs time and some planning, and I wouldn't just go into something without proper planning.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, when someone asks me about the cooking side of this, so they are baffled, not just the dishes, the way I present it. There are two questions they ask when they see the dishes I prepare. One of them is like, why do you do this? So I have a philosophy that you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth. So you need to make the food look good first, and that's when you want to eat it. So that's why I do. I make the food look good. But then they also ask me. I have got these questions many times. Like they ask me, "Have you done a catering course? Are you a chef?" Because some people don't know that I have an engineering background.
I've seen your presentation, so
Yeah.
it's nothing short of what a chef would do.
Yeah. So and again, this is all just by practice, just experimenting and just making it look good. It's just like I like to better myself in the things I know how to do.
Right,
That's it.
right, right. I think that there's a principle in that too. You just keep getting better by doing
Yes.
the same thing over and over again.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Absolutely. All right, so let's come back to the diving scene a bit, because I'm sure there are a lot of people there who want to know about this, probably interested to try it out. India, Oman, whatever. In terms of content, what who are your mentors? Who should they look up to? What should they watch? What should they do in terms of knowledge gain?
When now since I am doing a lot of things when it comes to diving, each one of them will have a different mentor and a different path to achieve. Now, for example, if you're just looking for free diving, then there are certain people you need to follow, or certain people you need to gain that knowledge from.
Okay.
If you're looking for treasure hunting, then there are a set of people that you need to learn from or follow.
Okay, so if you're into cleanup hunting,
Yeah. So if you're into cleanup diving, then there are a separate set of people that you need to follow or learn from. And then the last one is spearfishing. Then there's a lot of people you can learn from.
oh
But
my,
I have tried to do all of this at once
okay,
because I don't want to get wet just for one reason. I want to do whatever I can while I'm down there.
oh yeah,
Because the worst part about the whole diving thing is getting ready. Right? It takes time to get ready. It
yeah,
takes approximately 10 minutes to get ready
right,
because the wetsuit is not easy to put on. You need to lubricate it. You need to, if you don't lubricate it enough, you might tear your wetsuit, and they can be expensive.
okay,
So it takes time to put it, and it takes time to remove it as well.
okay,
But putting on it takes more time than removing it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. But in terms of them, if you talk about
A few
maybe
names,
yeah, a few names. There's Adam Freediver.
okay,
He's a famous person on Instagram uh, for uh, for free diving
okay,
knowledge. Then there is his last name is Molchanovs. I think he's a Russian guy,
okay,
and he's one of the best in the world. He has won many awards regarding
okay.
this. Yeah, so that is also for free diving. Uh, for treasure hunting and cleanup, obviously me. Yeah, so because I'm passionate about it, I like doing it. I I just maybe maybe I'm the best person. I don't know,
Okay,
but
wait.
there
So
are
then I'm gonna put the brakes there.
yeah.
Tell me about treasure hunting. Tell me about the kind of treasures you've unlocked. It doesn't matter. I know because I've seen you find even probably a 10 dirham or a 10 rupee
Yeah,
underwater, but
exactly. Yeah,
it's fun. I'm sure the feeling of getting that.
obviously it is. That's the whole point. That's why I call it treasure, because if I pick up something that has value, that's treasure hunting. Yeah, if I picked up a fishing lure, it has value. If I sell it, I might get something for it. And I know some of the fishing lures that I pick up, I know that it is expensive.
Right.
It's not cheap. Those
Okay.
things, yeah, people have messaged me saying that, can I have that? I have a collection, and I've been thinking, I should give it away to someone, but then I'm just thinking, it will end up back in the sea. So why did I remove it in the first place? Like, I'm just thinking, like, I'm a bit confused, but it's there. I have it in my collection.
What else? What
I
else?
have found money, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, cash,
Okay.
and
I'm sure a lot of
fortunately
people
enough,
must be thinking, yes, there are more, but he doesn't want to say it.
I found iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was not working.
Okay. So I've been watching a bit of your content as well, just to get myself familiar for this discussion of ours, and I see that there was there was a documentary that came about you from this team in India,
Yes.
and what's the story behind that?
So the whole thing started because there were some of my cleanup videos on YouTube,
Mm.
and I was just posting it because, again, I was just trying to create some awareness, and that was the whole point. I just did some cleanup. I posted it on YouTube, and there was this director. His name is Gaurav. They run
Okay,
a
like a video
documentary,
production
a
agency.
video production agency. I think it's called Undiscovered Documentaries. I think that's the name. The director Gaurav, he saw my videos and he approached me on Instagram, and he said that they are working on a similar concept with another person who is also into environment cleanup and doing his own thing, and they want me to play a part in this. So they just wanted to show what different people are doing in their own way to protect or save or help the environment. So I played. So my part in that documentary was that I am the free diver who dives into the sea and cleans up the trash.
How do you search for this on
You can
YouTube?
just search on YouTube. I think the name of the documentary is The Outlander.
Okay,
Yeah. So there were two cuts to this documentary.
right.
There is a cut that is available on YouTube, which is a shorter version, and then there's a longer version which is being played in schools around Maharashtra, around 4,000 schools in Maharashtra and Goa, to teach the upcoming generation about how you have to conserve or preserve the environment itself in your own way, and to see what people are doing. And that one's about an hour long, and it's not available on YouTube, but it's being
Fantastic.
played offline to these schools. And
Nice.
my part is actually in the longer one.
Okay.
And in the shorter one, which is on YouTube, you can see me in the credits. Maybe my name's in the credits.
That's about it.
Yeah, in the short version.
Right,
Yeah, but
right,
in the
right.
longer one, which is what I'm happy about, that the upcoming generation is getting to learn something, is what I always wanted. That is what the whole point of this entire thing was, to create awareness.
Amazing. And along that same lines, I've seen a video like I feel you're an angel for someone that's underwater, for an underwater animal who's been in distress. That's the kind of that's how I vision you, because I've seen how you've rescued turtles and other animals. I mean, for sure. I mean, they didn't expect somebody to just come out of nowhere and then
Yeah.
just take them out. Uh, how can I say it? Be that nurse who takes care of doing a procedure on them, because it's not easy to remove a
Yeah,
ghost net.
it's not, because again, what why I'm so dedicated to do that side of me, trying to save the marine animals when I see them in distress, or even before I see an animal trapped in a net, I remove it, because I know what it can do. Because animals don't have that sense. They might just swim into it, they might get stuck, and these things might happen. Now, to be called an angel or not, debatable. Maybe an angel for some and not for others. Why? Because let's say it's a dive I started in the morning at 8 o'clock,
Right.
and I'm coming out at 12 o'clock. So between 8 to 12, I am hunting for my own sustenance,
Right.
and then I'm cleaning up the sea where I see trash.
Right.
Then if I see an animal in distress or I see a ghost net, I remove it.
Right.
Yeah. or if there's something to for example treasure hunting, I'll do that. So all of this happens in one dive.
Yeah.
So for someone who's not into eating fish, might not call me an angel because I just shot a few fishes before saving a turtle.
I see
It's
what you
like
mean.
they might be like, hey, it's counterproductive, like.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, so yeah, so not, maybe not for everyone, so I don't give myself that title, and I don't ask anybody to give me that title, but yeah, it's the perspective of people how they want to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, what lies next in the journey for Gear Sub? Have you visioned something, or, or is it something that it's pretty far off, but then you still want to make your way through it?
Well, what I wanted was awareness, and I think it has been created, but I don't think this has to stop here. I
Okay.
would like more people to join me, not me as in under Gear Sub. Do your own thing, do your own research, get your own training, but do this because the ocean needs you.
Well said.
Yeah.
So let's say someone wants to get into all the roles that you do, including the hunting bit, including the rescuing bit, including the cleanup bit, and more. I'm still thinking about physical preparedness, mental preparation, gear. What do you need? How do you get ready for this?
Uh, I think it has to go back to your childhood.
Okay.
The way you are brought up really affects and will help you in achieving the things you want to achieve.
Right.
So for me, I know we spoke about this, but we did not go into that detail. But I think if I say about this, it might make sense, or it might people might be able to connect a bit more.
Go on.
There used to be this character who's no more in this world today.
Okay.
His name was Steve Irwin.
Okay.
He was a person who used to play around with animals. He was an animal conservationist or something. He had his own park in Australia.
Right.
Steve Irwin.
Right.
I used to see him a lot. My whole family used to watch him. He was called as the crocodile hunter.
Right.
I don't know if you know that, but
Right. Right.
very famous guy.
And I see the connect there. You might call him a hunter, but he was doing more conservation than anything.
Yes, yes, exactly. It was the crocodile hunter. Like they gave a negative name to it, but that really worked out well because he was actually like it was a conservation program. He had a park for it. He like crocodiles were being rescued from city areas, kept in the park or whatever. So not only crocodiles, he had other animals as well. And there used to be documentaries about him interacting with other animals.
Right.
And now that I look back at what things I've done, I see a lot of similarities between what I am doing and what he used to do in his time. Unfortunately, he passed away on the 4th of September, which was also my birthday.
Oh
So
God. Oh.
that was really sad for me.
Okay.
I think it was 2008, if I don't if I remember it correctly.
Right.
4th September 2008, if I recall the date correctly, he passed away, and he passed away because there was I think he landed. He was diving. He landed on top of the sting of a stingray.
Right.
So that kind of pierced his heart, and it was a sad story. But his children are still into the whole same thing the father used to do.
Okay.
They are still into this. So that has been one of the things why I was so attached to the whole environment and the animal wildlife side of things.
Right.
And it kind of affected me in my education as well. So there's a subject called environmental studies that we have, and in my 12th grade I scored 92 marks out of 100. That was the highest marks I got in any subject. So
You see where you're naturally fitting into.
yes, so when I saw that, I'm like, hey, this may be a calling. I need to look into this further. So ever since till today, even the work I have done has to do something to do with the environment. So even if I was working for an engineering company, it was a renewable engineering company, like renewable energy. We're working with solar, we're working with renewable sources. So we are using the natural resources available to us to take out power from it and power up our houses or
I think
whatever.
that's something I've missed out to say because Salman is into or professionally into solar engineering, and I think you made that even part of your profession, man. So like that's a rare combination.
Yeah. So ever since my school days and up until today, and the different career paths that I've been into, I have not left my zeal for the environment. In
Right.
one way or the other, I was always doing something for it, either in my own time or professionally for the company itself.
Right, right. So here's the last question for this session, and I'm sure there'd be more, and by then you'd be somewhere else. So I might not even be able to reach out to you.
No.
But we are all concerned. I mean, we're all concerned about the environment. I do that myself when we do hiking or going in, scaling heights. We collect trash, we bring them back. We make sure whatever we carry, we bring them back. We make sure that we conserve and not destroy what
That's
we
great.
see as part of our surroundings.
Great. Do you speak about it?
I don't.
Why not? So this is now I have to interview you. Why don't you speak about it? I mean, it's good you do that. This is a part of being a good human being, not throwing things around and picking others trash. But why not speak
I
about it
think that that's
when
the
you
problem.
have the
It
platform?
it should. You said it, Salman. It's a given that it should be a part of us.
Yes,
And unfortunately, that is not the way we look at things, especially in places that we are. I think there's a lot of education that needs to be done.
true.
And can you probably explain what could be done in terms of efforts, whether it be up there or down below? What do you think is essential for the people to
The
know?
point you just made is exactly the point that I would elaborate on. It's education. Education is lacking, I would say, in this field. We need to start from the schools. We need to start from offices, places where people are
Gather.
gathered, and where you can run these kind of workshops. Maybe provide an incentive or some sort where they do that kind of action. For example, there was this plan I had discussed with one gentleman that have this kind of a scheme in your office for your own people, and this can be part of their CSR initiative, for example, or their CSR goals. For example, you have 10 people or 1500 people in your office. You ask them, like, collect this many bottles at the end of the month. Whoever has the maximum number of bottles get a bonus or some kind.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so you are making them do something
You're
for a
making
good
them
cause.
step out of their comfort zone too.
Yes, you
And
are.
that's good because
Yeah,
that's the first step in change.
exactly. So in this process, they have the organization has educated their employees. They have
This,
learned something.
the teachers at school have taught the
Yeah,
children.
the teachers have taught the children at school, and the bottles have been collected. They can be recycled or reused or repurposed. So it's a win-win for everyone here. So the organization achieves a goal under the CSR,
Yeah,
whatever
I see what you
initiative.
mean.
Yeah. So it has to do with education. People need to be taught at every level. Don't just start at school, because they need 20 years to come to grow up and then implement that.
Yeah.
Some people say we need to start only at school, and that's no
No,
there.
sometimes Salman, I feel it's not just at school, like what you just said. It's not in the textbooks. Of course, it probably might start with a textbook, but you need to take them outdoors. You need to
Yes.
take them down under, and
Yes.
probably then, because you instinctively want to have that packet of food, and then take it, dispose it off to lighten your backpack or whatever.
Yes.
That's that moment where the tutor or the trainer or whatever is situationally aware of what people are, and
Yes.
then just obstructs and says,
Don't.
hang in there, put that back into your
Yes.
bag, and then when you reach somewhere that can be disposed,
Yes.
make sure it's disposed, because that's a part of us. We keep our home screen, but we litter our surroundings.
Yes.
And it's very sad when I say this, but that is exactly what happens. And people like us have to use our bare hands sometimes, or we just probably even use gloves, but
Yes.
we pick somebody else's trash.
Definitely.
And I think it's definitely starts with awareness, and then probably activations or things that are practical, and that are programs driven by people like us. Let's hope that continues. Let's hope that happens. I wish you all the best,
Thank you so much.
and I wish you go to places, man.
Definitely looking forward to. How about you join me for a dive?
I'm afraid of depths. I swear to God, I might do heights, but I'm really, really
What
afraid of
what
depths.
what is it about depths that scares
I
you?
don't know. I'm claustrophobic, man.
Claustrophobic. The sea is vast.
This, I swear, darkness makes me feel like I'm enclosed somewhere.
Okay, don't go at night. Start with the day.
Bro, the
Start
deeper
at
you
sunrise.
go, it is gonna get darker. But then again, I think I've answered myself as to say stepping out of my comfort zone. So probably
Yes,
if I do that, then I unlock new places, and
definitely.
probably that's something to add to my experiences you have in life, isn't it?
Yes, yes. You need to keep your step out of your comfort zone, and then you will start achieving things you've never thought of.
I think that's
That's
a
what I
wrap.
think.
That's a wrap. We are done, baby. Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Salman.